나랑 이거 뭐야?
What if everything ARMY believed for years was only half of the truth? What if one quiet confession had the power to rewrite countless memories, heal invisible wounds, and bring two hearts back to the place they had secretly been searching for all along? Before you continue, ask yourself one question. If you finally heard Taehyung's side of the story, would you be ready to accept that nothing was ever as simple as it seemed? If this story touches your heart, don't forget to leave a comment sharing the moment that moved you the most. Like this story and subscribe for more fictional BTS-inspired adventures where emotions, friendship, and hope take center stage. The rain had been falling over Seoul since early morning. Soft drops slid down the enormous windows of HYB's practice building, turning the outside world into a blurry painting of gray streets and glowing city lights. Inside, the hallways were unusually quiet. Staff members whispered to one another as they hurried from room to room, each carrying their own schedule, each pretending that everything was perfectly normal. But it wasn't. Not today. For nearly 3 weeks, fans around the world had noticed something different. Taehyung smiled during interviews, but his eyes lingered somewhere far away. Jungkook laughed with the members, but there were moments when he seemed to disappear into his own thoughts before quickly returning with another bright grin. The internet had done what it always did. Thousands of theories. Millions of comments. Endless edits. Some believed they had argued. Others insisted nothing had happened. The truth. No one actually knew. Except two people. Taehyung stood alone inside Studio 7, gently running his fingers across the edge of an old wooden piano. The room carried memories that no camera had ever captured. Late-night rehearsals. Endless conversations. Shared laughter echoing against empty walls. Dreams spoken out loud when no one else was listening. He closed his eyes. "I guess everyone wants an answer," he whispered to himself. His phone vibrated. The screen displayed one simple message. "Jungkook, are you sure?" Taehyung stared at the words for several long seconds before smiling. A small smile. Not the smile fans knew. A quieter one. The kind reserved for people who had witnessed both your happiest victories and your darkest fears. He typed slowly. "I think it's time." Across the city, Jungkook sat inside his apartment, staring out toward the Han River. The sunset painted orange reflections across the water. Normally he would have found the view calming. Tonight it only reminded him how quickly beautiful things could disappear. His manager had called twice. His friends had texted. Even his family had noticed something different. Yet none of them asked the question he feared the most. "Are you okay?" Because he wasn't sure how to answer anymore. His phone buzzed again. Taehyung's message appeared. "I think it's time." Jungkook leaned back against the couch. He laughed quietly. Not because anything was funny. Because after carrying the same invisible weight for so long, the possibility of finally putting it down almost felt impossible. Meanwhile, ARMY around the world continued doing what they always did. Watching. Waiting. Hoping. A live stream notification suddenly appeared. Not from HYB. Not from BTS. From Taehyung's personal account. Within seconds. 50,000 viewers. Then 200,000. 500,000. 1 million. The numbers climbed so quickly that even the platform struggled to keep up. Comments flooded the screen. "Taehyung! We missed you! Are you okay? Where's Jungkook? Please smile." Taehyung adjusted the camera. No fancy lighting. No professional setup. Just a simple chair beside the familiar window overlooking Seoul. For nearly 20 seconds, he said absolutely nothing. The silence somehow became louder than any speech. Then he smiled softly. "Hello? The comment section exploded. "I've been thinking for a long time about whether I should say anything," he began. "I know many people have been worried." He paused again. "I also know many stories have been created." His eyes lowered briefly. Some of them were kind. Some of them were painful. And almost none of them were true. Millions of viewers stopped typing. Nobody wanted to miss a single word. Taehyung inhaled deeply. "The truth isn't dramatic. It isn't a scandal. It isn't betrayal." He looked directly into the camera. "The truth is much more human." Across Seoul, Jungkook watched the live stream from his living room. His fingers tightened around the phone. He had heard Taehyung practice this speech dozens of times. Yet hearing it spoken aloud somehow felt completely different. Taehyung continued. "There are moments in life when even the closest people become quiet. Not because they stop caring, but because they're trying to protect one another." Silence filled the broadcast again. Fans began crying before they even understood why. Something about the honesty in his voice felt heavier than any rumor ever could. Taehyung smiled sadly. "I never wanted anyone to think Jungkook had abandoned me. And I never wanted anyone to think I had abandoned him." Jungkook lowered his head. His eyes became wet. He remembered that night. Months earlier. One small misunderstanding. One conversation interrupted by exhaustion. One week of silence caused not by anger, but by two people believing the other needed space. It had seemed insignificant. Until strangers began writing stories about it. Until headlines invented emotions neither of them had ever expressed. Until millions started believing those headlines. Taehyung's voice became quieter. The hardest thing wasn't reading the rumors. It was realizing how easily silence becomes another person's story. Thousands of comments slowed. The live stream transformed into something completely unexpected. It no longer felt like an announcement. It felt like someone opening a diary. Taehyung looked out the window. "I've known Jungkook for many years. I've watched him grow. I've watched him struggle. I've watched him smile even on days when smiling required incredible courage." He laughed softly. "And honestly, he's still the same person who worries too much about everyone else." Across the city, Jungkook quietly wiped away a tear. He whispered words no microphone could hear. "Thank you." Taehyung continued speaking. "We don't always understand each other immediately. We don't always choose the perfect words. But real friendship isn't measured by perfect conversations. It's measured by who stays." His phone vibrated. A message appeared. "Jungkook. I'm watching." Taehyung smiled instinctively. Millions noticed. Nobody knew why. Only one person did. He picked up the phone. Without warning, he pressed the video call button. The live stream audience gasped. For 2 long seconds, nothing happened. Then, Jungkook answered. Neither of them spoke. Neither of them needed to. They simply looked at one another. Two friends. Two artists. Two people who had quietly carried the weight of expectations for far too long. Jungkook laughed first. "You really did it." Taehyung nodded. "I was scared. I know. I still am. So am I." Viewers around the world watched in complete silence. Not because dramatic secrets had finally been revealed, but because the simplest truth proved stronger than every rumor combined. Sometimes, the loudest misunderstandings begin with the quietest silence. And sometimes, healing begins with one honest conversation. Neither of them claimed perfection. Neither of them pretended life had been easy. Instead, they reminded everyone watching that even the strongest friendships experience moments of distance, uncertainty, and growth. The live stream continued long into the evening as they reminisced about practice rooms, forgotten lyrics, shared meals after exhausting rehearsals, and the countless ordinary moments that had quietly built years of trust. Fans laughed as they teased each other about old habits and smiled through tears as they admitted there had been times when they struggled to express what they truly felt. Their conversation carried no grand revelation, only the warmth of two people choosing openness over assumptions. By the time the stream came to an end, the rain outside had stopped. The clouds over Seoul slowly parted, allowing the first stars of the night to appear. Somewhere beyond the city lights, millions of fans closed their phones with lighter hearts than when they had begun watching. They had not witnessed a shocking scandal or an unbelievable confession. They had witnessed something far more meaningful, a reminder that trust is strengthened through honesty, friendship grows through patience, and sometimes the most powerful words are simply, "I'm still here." And for everyone who had been searching for answers, perhaps that was enough. The silence after the live stream felt almost unreal. Neither Taehyung nor Jungkook expected the response to be so overwhelming. Across different time zones, millions of fans shared messages filled with relief, gratitude, and emotion. Some admitted they had cried. Others confessed they had forgotten how powerful a simple conversation could be. The internet, which only hours before had been consumed by endless speculation, now seemed to pause, if only for a moment. Taehyung ended the broadcast with a quiet smile before placing his phone on the table. The room felt completely silent again. Only the sound of rainwater dripping from the rooftop could be heard outside. He closed his eyes and let out a long breath. "I finally said it," he whispered. For the first time in weeks, his shoulders no longer felt heavy. A gentle knock echoed from the studio door. "Come in." The door slowly opened. Jungkook stood there wearing a black hoodie and baseball cap, his hands tucked inside his pockets. Neither of them spoke immediately. Instead, they simply laughed. It wasn't because something was funny. It was because they both realized how much unnecessary fear they had carried. "I thought you'd still be at home," Taehyung said. "I was." Jungkook shrugged. "But after hearing everything, I wanted to see you in person." Taehyung smiled. "You drove all the way here?" "I did." "Worth it?" Jungkook looked around the familiar practice room. "The drive?" He shook his head. "No." Taehyung raised an eyebrow. "The destination?" Both of them laughed again. For several minutes they wandered through the empty hallways, revisiting rooms where countless memories had been made. Every corner seemed to hold another story. "This hallway," Jungkook said while pointing toward an old rehearsal room. "Remember when we accidentally stayed here until sunrise?" Taehyung burst into laughter. "The staff thought we'd gone home. And we were still practicing." "No," Taehyung corrected him. "We spent half the night arguing about which song sounded better." "You still lost." "I absolutely did not." "You did. You've been waiting years to say that." "I really have." The laughter echoed through the empty building. For a brief moment they felt like trainees again. No cameras. No expectations. Just two friends chasing impossible dreams. Elsewhere, the live stream continued to spread across social media. Clips of Taehyung's words reached fans in every corner of the world. One particular sentence appeared again and again. "Silence becomes another person's story." People interpreted it in countless different ways. Some connected it to friendships they had nearly lost. Others thought about misunderstandings within their own families. Teachers shared the clip with students. Parents discussed it over dinner. Even people who knew very little about BTS found themselves reflecting on how quickly assumptions could replace honest conversations. Neither Taehyung nor Jungkook had planned for that. They simply wanted to tell the truth. Instead, their words became something much larger. The following morning, the HYB building looked very different. Employees smiled more often. Managers greeted one another with visible relief. The atmosphere that had felt so tense for weeks suddenly became lighter. As Taehyung entered one of the meeting rooms, several staff members applauded. He immediately covered his face. "Please don't do that." One producer laughed. "You have no idea how many people slept peacefully after your live stream." Another nodded. "You reminded everyone that honesty still matters." Taehyung scratched the back of his neck. "I was honestly terrified. We noticed. I almost canceled it." "We noticed that too." Everyone laughed. The meeting quickly shifted toward music. New melodies filled the speakers. Fresh lyrics appeared on notebooks. Creative ideas bounced around the room. For the first time in a long while, inspiration felt effortless. Jungkook arrived a few minutes later carrying 2 cups of coffee. "I guess your order." "You guessed wrong." "I know." "Then why buy it?" "I wanted yours." Taehyung rolled his eyes before handing over his own drink. "You planned this." "I absolutely did." The producer shook his head. "You two haven't changed at all." "We know," they answered together. That evening, after practice had ended, Taehyung climbed onto the rooftop alone. The city shimmered beneath him. Thousands of lights stretched toward the horizon. Seoul always looked beautiful from above. Yet tonight something felt different. His phone buzzed. It was a message from Jungkook. "Where are you?" "Roof." "Stay there." This story is a work of fan fiction created solely for entertainment purposes. All events, conversations, emotions, and scenarios portrayed in this story are entirely fictional and are the product of the author's imagination. While the story is inspired by the public personas of BTS members, it does not represent real-life events, statements, relationships, or experiences. The characters depicted are based on public figures used in a fictional context only. No part of this story should be interpreted as factual news, verified information, or an accurate representation of the artist's personal lives. This content is not intended to spread rumors, misinformation, or false narratives. It is created with respect and appreciation for BTS and their fans worldwide. If you enjoy this fictional story, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more original fan fiction inspired by the world of BTS.